Well, hello, Texas. Yes, it is Saturday. Happy Saturday morning. Today's going to be good. We are talking great summer books, also the current state of aviation, building a fashion brand, and creating community around kindness. We are going to be in for a treat today because Michelle and Wendy know they are not here, but all show long, I have my own VIP guest co host with me. If you are an author, a writer, in the publishing game, you probably know this name. She goes by Catherine McGee. She is a Houston native, a New York Times bestselling author of the 1000th Floor series and also the American Royal series. And we are today talking about publishing. We're talking options. I'm learning the lingo too. If you're deep in the game and successful, you know what options are in the publishing world. And we're also talking about the process of getting your book picked up by a major media outlet, how it becomes a film, how it gets to television, becomes a series. She's breaking it all down. So yes, help me welcome to the show today, Miss Catherine McGee.
Thank
Hey,
you so much for having me, Natalie. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, girl, I am too, because let me tell you, this new way of sharing stories through writing and wanting to become an author. I'm seeing so many women incorporate that piece into their empires that they're building to get their stories on paper so they're never forgotten. And I'm just excited to get into all of the things with you today. So we're going to kick off with your new series, your newer series. You have so many things going on. It's called American Royals. And this is like a modern day America is a monarchy. So just bring your mind there. But it's a fun concept. And this was optioned by ABC. So I want you to talk a little bit about what that means and tell us how you got the idea and the concept for the story and the book and what this option process has been like with such a major television network.
I actually first got the idea for the book series in 2011 when Prince William and Kate Middleton got married. I used to work in book publishing in New York. So I was living in New York at the time. And I was walking through the streets on the day of the royal wedding and just saw how excited everybody in the city was about this wedding of royals that don't even belong to us, which took me to a place of, what if we did have a royal family? It's very tongue-in-cheek. It's meant to be fun. It's got all the opulence and the family drama of Crazy Rich Asians, and of course the romance. And then of course the crown is all the tiaras and the royal processions and kisses in
all of the things.
like
And
that.
don't forget the tea. We've got to have the tea. Okay. So I love this. I think, your imagination has definitely been running wild for years, especially when we go back to your first series, The 1000th Floor, which I love that too. And you really started kind of getting your claim to fame with that first series. So let's talk about that and the optioning process there too. What does it mean to be optioned? What is that?
Yes, both of my series have been optioned for TV or film at one point. Optioning is something that studios do in order to have a hold on the rights to a project. So a studio might option in any given television series season as many as 200 or 300 concepts, whether they are books, newspaper articles, or just straight up screenplays that are written by screenwriters in Los Angeles. And then from that number of options, they will move forward with a number of them to a pilot script. Maybe 40 of those will get a script, and then maybe they will shoot 15 to 20 and then narrow that down to they'll pick up 3 new shows.
Right.
So there's a very strong winnowing out at every level.
Yeah.
So with both The 1000th Floor and American Royals, they did actually write an episode 1 script. So we did make it to the script stage, but nothing was ever filmed for either project.
Well, and kudos to you. And not that we're going to get into numbers, but you do get paid when your story is optioned, and you get to keep that, whether they turn it into a movie or a series or not. And I love that. And I just love this deeper peek into the process, because throughout the weeks and, the years that we've been bringing this show to the CW network and just television in general, we hear of so many women looking to get their stories out there. A lot of people will take the self-publishing route, but anyone would love to have a book deal with a major publishing house where they are literally going to finance the opportunity, distribute it, all of that. So talk about the difference in those two ways of bringing your book to the forefront, if you will.
Yes, and I do have a good window into this because I used to work in book publishing, so I
Yeah.
have seen it from the author side and the editorial side.
Mhm.
Amazon in particular has a very easy self-publishing format where
Yeah.
you really just upload the text and cover art, and then within one day it's live as an ebook on their website.
Mm.
And I do think that's a great option for a lot of people. I think for me, I've been very lucky to have a strong backing from my publisher, and the benefits of working with a traditional publisher are mainly in the marketing and, as you said, the distributing. I have a really strong team behind me, and I'm very lucky to work with them.
Yeah.
And I think that for people who can work with a traditional publisher, who can afford to wait, it often is a more satisfying process, but it is a very slow process. It's slow
Mhm.
to find a publisher, it's slow to sign a book deal, and then it's slow to get your book made. So, I mean, every book that I write, it doesn't come out till almost a year after I finish writing it. So if
Wow.
your story is urgent, then I would say absolutely go the self-publishing route.
So good. And Catherine, I'm so excited because you are sticking around for the entire show today as my guest co-host. You're bringing in the muscles, the paper, the pen, and so much education for our viewers today. And we have such good conversations. So I just have to thank you. For those that are like, wait a second, let me go buy the book during the commercial break. How can people follow you, find you, and keep up with you, Miss Catherine?
Yes, thank you. The books are available wherever books are sold, in ebook, audiobook, and hardcover. And you can follow me at Catherine McGee on social media.
Yes, Catherine. All right. Well, like we said, Catherine is sticking around. So make sure you stick with us too, because coming up next, we talk with retired Air Force Reserve and current pilot, Miss Kathy Almond. You won't want to miss that. Talk about inspiration. She's going to be sharing the current pilot shortage and the need for women pilots to come on out and sign up. So we're going to talk more on that coming up next.
Hi, I'm Elena Cardone, and I help women reach a heightened level of success. You can keep up with me online at www.elenacardone.com. You're watching the Connect Network TV.
If you are ready to keep your hair, scalp, skin, and lips hydrated this season, our vegan and gluten-free all-purpose moisturizers are just for you. Carefully formulated with fine ingredients to purify and nourish the skin and scalp at the same time without harsh chemicals. Shop It's Made For Me today. The end result will be strong, healthy hair and smoother, softer, clearer skin.
Hi, I'm Jess DeFeo, and I am a social media coach for women entrepreneurs who know they are on a mission to change the world with their business, but are struggling with how to market themselves authentically to their ideal client on social media. I can help you go from overwhelmed and confused on what to post to creating effective and impactful content that converts your followers into customers. Head to my website to grab your free course, Instagram 101 for Business, and learn the strategies I use to grow my business in just 6 months.
Oh, welcome back, Texas. You are watching the Connect Network TV right here on the CW. So happy to have my new BFF, Catherine McGee, filling in as guest co-host, New York Times bestselling author. Just such a great interview. You're going to learn more about her coming up in a bit. But now we're excited, right? Catherine sitting down with Lieutenant Colonel, Kathy Almond. She is joining us today. She is retired from the Air Force Reserves, but still an airline pilot today. She's going to be sharing her journey on how she's helping other women to become pilots too. She is helping women pull all the way up and do just that. So welcome, Miss Kathy. How are you today?
Hi, thank you so much for having me, and thanks for the opportunity to spread some knowledge to other women. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so excited to just have you with us. And you are actually a guest of Wendy's. I know she's so heartbroken that you are not here with her today as she's traveling, but we've heard so many great things about you. And you're really doing amazing work in this entire just field of aviation in this industry, working with women pilots. I can remember when I was a young girl, I would never see women sitting behind, on the plane in the cockpit. And today, things have really changed, and you're helping women recognize the opportunity there. So for those who don't know, can you share more about just the history of women being pilots in your journey so far?
Sure. Flight didn't start until 1903, right? That's when the Wright brothers had their first flight.
Yeah.
But women were there at the beginning. 1911, the first woman got her pilot's license in the U.S. In 1976, though, it really took a turn when Congress authorized the Air Force to have women pilots trained in the military. So the first class of Air Force pilots graduated in 1977. So that's pretty recent. The really good news is when you look at civilian flying and the students that are learning right now, about 30% of those students are women.
Kathy, that's so amazing. Thank you for sharing. I'd love to know, why do you think it's vital to have women becoming pilots?
Well, for me, I was fortunate to have a counselor in high school stop me in the hall and say, hey, have you thought about going to the Air Force? Because it's a good opportunity for you. It might be a good fit. It had not occurred to me that that would be a pathway to have as a career. So that's what we're trying to do, is let girls and young ladies know that these are opportunities.
I think we would all love to know, from your perspective as a retired Air Force Reserve and now airline pilot, could you explain the differences between being a commercial pilot and a military pilot?
Yeah.
Sure. It takes a bit of experience to get to the point where you can be hired at a commercial airline. In the military, you get to be in charge of the plane when you're pretty young. So there's a lot of responsibility put on you at a young age. Commercial is more, the progression through is you get your private pilot license, then you learn to fly instruments, and then you might get a job flying as an instructor, instructing other new students, and then move on to the regional airline. And then when you get enough time, you can have the experience to get hired at a major airline.
Wow, that's fantastic. And just thank you for your service. Talk about your thoughts on the pilot shortage. I know it's been all over the news, and people are now talking about how this new mandatory retirement has changed things a bit. What are your thoughts on all that is going on now in just this post-pandemic or current pandemic, depending on who you ask, world?
So probably the genesis of this shortage is because most pilots tended to come out of the military up to this point. And there were a lot of pilots that were trained during the Vietnam War era. Mm-hmm. Those pilots are all turning 65 now. Yeah. There's a mandatory retirement age that's set by the FAA of 65. Several thousands of pilots did retire early when COVID first struck. So that kind of made the problem worse with the age coming up at 65 for all the Vietnam era pilots as well.
Wow, so interesting.
Kathy, thank you for all of this insight. This is really powerful to hear all this, especially from someone who has lived it. So for any of our viewers who are watching and are interested in potentially becoming a pilot, what would you say are the first steps that they should take?
So really the very first step you should take is to go and get that FAA physical I was just talking about.
That's a good tip, Miss Kathy.
And then a lot of airfields and flight schools have what they call discovery flights. That's where you get to go and just kind of see, is this something that I like? Am I going to get airsick on a hot day in North Texas when it's bouncy, bouncy, bouncy? You would like to find those things out ahead of time before you sink a lot of money into something. So those are the very two first steps that I would recommend.
Wow, that was fantastic. And two things I wouldn't even have thought of. But yes, very, very good. You need to know if that motion sickness is going to affect you. And then, yes, if you're healthy enough to play, because as a, a customer and a, person up in the air, you're always a little nervous sometimes at takeoff, and you do want to know that your pilots are healthy. So that's very reassuring. So I appreciate that tip too. So before we go, I'm so happy to just that we had you, Miss Kathy. You've really brought so much. Are there any support groups out there for new pilots, or any place that they should visit online to keep them abreast to what's new and what they need to know?
Yes, I'm a member of two different groups, specifically for women aviators, but we do have men who are members as well. Women in Aviation International is one of them. And there are local chapters throughout the United States and throughout the world. It's such a supportive organization, not only providing mentors for people going through training, but also scholarships. The 99s is another one. Women aviators who support each other on life's journey. And it's not just pilots, it's also mechanics, air traffic controllers, the entire aviation industry.
Oh, I love that. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for being with us today. You've brought so much knowledge and just information for us. So yes, if you're brave, if you're courageous, if you're ready, if you're healthy, if you want a new beginning, this might be perfect for you. So thank you, Kathy, for joining us today. And we take a quick break, but coming up next, we talk about random acts of kindness and the power of being kind to yourself with Marley Q. Coming up next.
We are living in challenging times. And despite having a 9-to-5 job, you still find it difficult to pay your bills and have money left over to spend on experiences that brings you joy. If you're at a point in your life where you know that there is more for you, you want to start a side business and express your multi-passions, but you're not sure if your gifts or ideas can be profitable, believe in yourself and connect with us over at RaquelWalters.com and let us help you to get clear on the knowledge you have that you can monetize right away.
It's time to get back to business. And One Executive Suites is the place to be if you are ready to level up. Our premier co-working space is great for entrepreneurs, executives, and business owners that need a professional atmosphere, business resources, and hot coffee. Our two locations are easily accessible, so come see us at 705 West Wadley Ave or at 601 North Marienfeld in the Graham Building in Midland, Texas. Visit us online at www.oneexecutives.com. It's time to get to work.
Yo, this is Master P. Keep up with Natalie at the Connect Network.
Well, welcome back, Texas. So this is good. Catherine, we're talking about kindness coming up next. You're going to love Marley Q. She's coming up next, and she focuses on influencing, shall I say, people with kindness and social, just entrepreneurship. She does it all, Marley Q. She's on a mission to perform random acts for you at home and anyone watching. And she does this through her teaching, her speaking, and just the events that she coordinates. I'm excited to welcome her. Let's give it up for Miss.
Wait, we all need a little more kindness right now.
Yes, don't we though? We need so much more kindness. Marley, welcome to the show. Happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you ladies. Thank you.
I'd love for you to talk about the superpower that you have and what the seed was that was planted in you when you were just 10, I think, right? By your teacher. That's how this all started, this movement. So talk a little bit to our viewers about how all of this became a real story and a real plan for you.
Thank you. It was definitely a seed. That's the right way to put it. The seed of kindness was planted in my heart by my fourth grade teacher, Miss Marcia Gyro. And, she said 4 words to me specifically that I've never forgotten to this day.
Wow.
She said, kindness is your superpower. And Marley, that just simply being yourself is enough to change the world. It's honestly, I really honor her. And in 2018, I got the opportunity to reconnect with her and ask her to come to my TED Talk. And she was in the audience. And I just felt that I had the opportunity to show her that tree that has blossomed thanks to her act of kindness. So it's
right. One act of kindness inspired another.
Such a powerful story. And aren't teachers just the people that help shape us so much when we're young, and they are so underappreciated. So I love that. And I love that that moment has grown for you over the course of your life into this amazing movement. So you started Park or P-A-R-K, and it really took off in 2010 and has grown organically. I would love to hear a little more about how you have just grown the community.
Yeah, so PARK is the acronym for my mission. Right? My mission is to be the spark that inspires people to perform acts of random kindness. So PARK Project actually launched as my birthday party. It's through events. I've been creating events since I was 15 years old. I see them as this incredibly powerful vehicle to build community, to create awareness, to inspire and educate, but also to influence people to park, to take an action for whatever cause they care about. I truly believe that everybody has a cause that speaks to them. And if we were to utilize our superpower of kindness, we could really raise a culture that is kind and of service to each other on a daily basis. In under 3 months, with no big budget, no big sponsors, no email list, no social media following, no influencer audience. And we had well over 600 people attend. We donated $13,000 to 5 local nonprofits for our military and our service women and servicemen and women and their families. And I committed myself and our volunteer movement for 5 years to grow that event into what became the award-winning 5K Park Fest. And we were able to inspire just thousands of people to park for the causes that they care about, and donated $50,000, all grassroots fundraising efforts to dozens of local nonprofits and schools. I'm just so proud of being able to brag about the fact that I was the spark of this movement, but it's truly up to you, me, and we to be that spark of kindness in our own way.
Marley, I love that. And I want to circle back to what you said about being 3 months pregnant at your TED Talk. Oh my goodness. You are a mother of 2, right? And you were a pandemic mom as well, which I can relate to. I had a baby in 2020. So we lived through a strange time with a newborn. And I actually wrote my most recent book right after he was born for that whole first year. So I totally get it. And I would love to hear, how has being a mom changed the way that you view kindness towards others, but also self-kindness? I think that is really can be the hardest challenge of being a mom, is to give any kind of time to yourself.
Yes.
So true.
Yes. So as a new mom, I have a 4-year-old and a almost 2-year-old. And I really think that practicing self-care is rooted in kindness at the end of the day. So I'm very grateful that I started my journey of directing some of this kindness towards myself well before I became a mom, so that when my children, came around, I was able to kind of give from a cup that overflowed rather than from this place of lack and stress and overwhelm.
So before you go, last question today, what are some things that we can do right now? We are hard on ourselves sometimes. What are maybe 2 things real quick that we can do today to begin being kind to ourselves?
Ooh, 2 things. I can tell you so many. So 2, let's focus on, so I practice and I teach my kind crew 4 super simple self-care skills that I urge everyone to master. I want to teach you 2 of them right now that you can do with me right here. Ready? The first one is breathe. It sounds so simple. As long as you're alive and you're breathing, you have your breath to support you in self-care and regulating your nervous system. So breathe.
All right. And what's number 2?
Smile. Smiling. We're all doing it right now. And smiling is a beautiful act of kindness for others. But when we smile towards ourselves, we are actually releasing dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins into our nervous system that allows us to stress less and take better care of ourselves. So there you go. Breathe and smile more.
You know,
Marley, where can we follow everything that you're up to?
Please do. Thank you. MarleyQ.com is a great place to start. And you can follow me on all social media platforms at MarleyQ. I would absolutely love to connect with you.
Oh, Marley Q and girl, Curly Q, Marley Q, Cutie Q. I love it. Love it. And you know, it's funny when you just take a deep breath and relax. It's incredible. Just the goodness that you feel. So what a great reminder. And smiling. I love that. I love both of those. Marley Q, thanks for being with us today. All right, Texas, stay tuned. We have to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hey, Texas. Well, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us on your Saturday morning. What another great show in the books. And just so grateful to you, Miss Catherine McGee, for being my guest, VIP co-host today, and just hanging out with us all day long. Before we go, Catherine, one last time, how can we get this new trilogy? We're keeping our fingers crossed on the ABC option, and just so much success that you have your way. Please tell us how to buy the books, how to connect with you, and keep up with everything McGee.
Yes, thank you, Natalie. Thanks for letting me come try my hand at TV. I am so impressed that you do this every week because I thought it was kind of hard. So I'm going to stick to writing books. But it was such a treat to get to be here and meet so many inspiring and amazing guests and to get to chat with you.
You guys at home, make sure you pick them up. So excited. And remember, if you have your own incredible brand that you're building and you are ready to share it with the world right here on TV and you want to be featured, just head to our website, theconnectonline.com, and click Be on TV. You can get registered and learn all of the things. So yes, again, thanks for being with us today. You can binge watch the shows Netflix styles if you've missed any of them. We will see you next week. And